After the initial success of rural reforms, Deng Xiaoping and the Chinese leadership decided to pioneer special economic zones in urban reforms. Deng Xiaoping promoted the establishment of special economic zones after 1978. The first batch of pilot cities included Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Shantou and Xiamen. This strategy helps China gradually introduce a market economy, experiment with reform policies, accumulate experience, and lay the foundation for nationwide reforms. Important reasons behind this strategy include: 1. Pilot mechanism to reduce risks. SAR as a testing ground. The special zone was established as a testing ground for economic reform, allowing new economic policies and institutional reforms to be tried out without affecting the national economy. In this way, the effect of the reform can be observed on a smaller scale, experience accumulated, and risks reduced. Even if it fails, the overall impact will be limited. 2. Attract foreign investment and technology. Introduction of foreign capital and technology. The special zone aims to attract foreign investment in advanced technology and promote economic development. Special zones usually enjoy more preferential policies, such as tax incentives and ease of entry for foreign investment, which help to increase their attractiveness to foreign investors. Concepts and concerns about foreign investment. Under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, especially in its early days, there was a certain ideological vigilance against capitalism and foreign investment. Especially in the 1950s and 1960s, capitalism was seen as a threat to the socialist system. In addition, in the early stages of the introduction of foreign capital, there may be concerns about labor exploitation and economic control by foreign-funded enterprises. Learn from the successful experiences of the four Asian tigers. China's decision-making to introduce foreign investment was inspired by the successful experiences of the four Asian tigers: South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong and Singapore. The four tigers achieved rapid growth through economic reforms and open policies in the 1970s and 1980s. These successful experiences have had an important impact on China in terms of opening up the economy and introducing foreign investment, economic transformation and industrial upgrading. 3. Advantages of special economic zones. Geographical location and policy advantages. Special zones are usually chosen in economically developed coastal areas, such as Shenzhen and Xiamen. These areas have superior geographical locations and are close to international markets, making it easy to attract foreign investment and technology. At the same time, these areas are also relatively developed in terms of transportation and infrastructure, which is conducive to the advancement of reform and opening up. 4. Ease conflicts nationwide. Avoid national conflict. By piloting reforms in special zones, various resistances and conflicts that may be encountered when implementing reforms nationwide can be avoided. The successful experience of the special zone can be gradually extended to the whole country to reduce possible social and economic conflicts. 5. Improve policy flexibility. Flexible policy adjustments. The policies of the special zones are more flexible and can be adjusted and optimized according to actual conditions, so that reform measures can more quickly adapt to market needs and solve practical problems. 6. Economic growth drivers. Promote economic growth. The establishment of special zones will help promote the rapid growth of the local economy and form a highlight of economic growth, thus providing demonstration and support for reforms in other regions across the country. 7. Policy experimentation and promotion. Policy verification and promotion. The success of the special zones has provided verification for nationwide reforms. Leaders such as Deng Xiaoping can summarize the reform experience based on the experience of the special zones and then gradually promote it nationwide. The successful experience of the SAR will also help to achieve a broader consensus in policy formulation. Achievements of Shenzhen Special Economic Zone. Before opening up 14 coastal cities, Shenzhen, as China's first special economic zone, had achieved significant economic achievements. Here are a few key indicators. 1. Economic growth. The GDP growth. Since the establishment of the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone, its GDP growth rate has far exceeded the national average. In 1984, Shenzhen's GDP reached nearly 2 billion yuan, while it was only 250 million yuan in 1980, and the annual growth rate often remained above 30%. The GDP per capita. Shenzhen's economic growth has significantly increased GDP per capita. In 1980, Shenzhen's per capita GDP was about RMB 250. By 1984, it had exceeded RMB 1,200, an increase of about 4 times. 2. Introduction of foreign capital. The number of foreign invested enterprises. By 1984, Shenzhen had attracted more than 5,000 foreign invested enterprises, including many multinational companies. The number of foreign invested enterprises was 370 in 1982 and increased rapidly by 1984. The foreign capital inflow. In 1984, Shenzhen attracted nearly $1 billion in foreign investment. From 1980 to 1984, Shenzhen's cumulative foreign investment inflow exceeded $2 billion. 3. Industrialization process. The industrial output value. Shenzhen's industrial output value has grown rapidly in a short period of time. In 1980, Shenzhen's industrial output value was 300 million yuan, and by 1984 it had reached 3 billion yuan, with an average annual growth rate of nearly 40%. The export trade. Shenzhen's export trade has also grown significantly. In 1984, Shenzhen's total export volume reached $2 billion, an increase of about 10 times compared with 1980. 4. Infrastructure construction. The infrastructure investment. Shenzhen increased investment in infrastructure construction in the early 1980s, including transportation, communications, energy and other fields. These investments promoted rapid economic development. The urban construction. Shenzhen has completed a large number of urban construction projects in just a few years, and its urban appearance has undergone significant changes, creating a good environment for economic development. 5. Social development. The population growth. Shenzhen's rapid economic growth has brought about a sharp increase in population. In 1980, Shenzhen's permanent population was about 300,000, and by 1984 it had exceeded 800,000. The living standard. Shenzhen's economic development has significantly improved the living standards of citizens. Residents' income levels and consumption capabilities have increased significantly, and the living conditions and consumption structure of urban residents have been significantly improved. Summarize. The SAR-first strategy is a pragmatic approach that advances step by step, reduces risks, and accumulates experience. This strategy helped China explore a development path suitable for its national conditions in the early stages of reform and opening up, and laid a solid foundation for subsequent comprehensive reforms. The successful experience of the special zones has provided verification for nationwide reforms and promoted the rapid development of China's economy.